Nobody wants you, Amelia. Not with that body, not in that dress, and certainly not in a room full of men who can choose anyone. Vanessa Hart's whisper was quiet, but it cut through every layer of courage Amelia had forced herself to wear. The Belmont Hotel ballroom glittered beneath chandeliers. Architects and investors had gathered to compete for the restoration contract of its abandoned East Wing, a project worth millions. Vanessa stood beside the largest model in a silver gown while everyone believed the design was hers. Only Amelia knew the truth. She had spent 11 months drawing every arch, calculating every support beam, and rebuilding the East Wing from old photographs. Vanessa had contributed nothing except her signature. Amelia adjusted the sleeve of her dark blue dress. Vanessa had mocked the way it hugged her round waist and soft arms. "I'm not here to be wanted," Amelia said. "That design belongs to me." "Dad chose me to present it," Vanessa replied. "People trust a face they want to photograph." Their father appeared. "Vanessa speaks to investors. You draw. Everyone has a role. And mine is to stay invisible? Yours is to remember who pays your salary." He walked away before Amelia could remind him she had not been paid in 6 months. A sudden silence spread from the entrance. Luca Moretti had arrived. He wore a black suit and moved through the crowd with 2 men behind him. Conversations lowered. Newspapers called him a shipping magnate. The city whispered another title: Mafia Boss. Luca had bought Belmont 3 months earlier, and tonight he would choose who restored it. Vanessa straightened. "That is the kind of man who never looks twice at women like you." At the Hart display, Vanessa stepped forward. "Mr. Moretti, I designed this concept to preserve Belmont's romance while adding modern luxury." Luca studied the model. "Why did you retain the northern staircase?" Vanessa hesitated. "For visual balance." Amelia's stomach dropped. The staircase concealed the only surviving iron spine connecting the East Wing to the main building. "And the sealed service tunnel beneath it?" Luca asked. Vanessa blinked. "The what?" He touched one corner of the model. A hidden section opened, revealing the support route Amelia had designed. "My assistants handle technical details," Vanessa said. Luca's attention shifted past her. Directly to Amelia. He noticed the graphite stain near her thumb and the notebook against her chest. Vanessa stepped into his path, but he moved around her. Then the most feared man in the city began crossing the ballroom toward Amelia. Conversations stopped. Vanessa's face lost color. Men like him did not cross crowded rooms for women their sisters had called unwanted. But Luca stopped in front of her. "Your name?" "Amelia Hart." "Did you draw the Eastern Support map?" Their father answered. She assisted Vanessa. Luca never looked away from Amelia. "I asked her." "Yes," Amelia said. "I drew it." "The tunnel?" "Yes." "The staircase reinforcement?" "Yes." "How much of that model is yours?" Vanessa rushed over. Amelia is a junior drafter. She exaggerates when she feels overlooked. Luca looked at her. "I haven't heard her exaggerate." "You don't know my sister." "No. But I know architecture, and you just called the spine of this building visual balance." Vanessa's cheeks burned. Luca held out his hand. "Your notebook." He turned through pages filled with sketches and calculations. Then he reached the final drawing. It showed a crack beneath the ballroom's western balcony. "When did you find this?" 3 weeks ago." "Why isn't it in the safety report?" Amelia glanced at her father. That was answer enough. Luca closed the notebook. "Clear the western side of the room." Richard forced a laugh. "There is no need to alarm everyone over one sketch." A sharp cracking sound came from above. Amelia looked up. A stone bracket shifted beneath the balcony. "Move." Luca caught Amelia around the waist and pulled her back as a heavy piece of stone smashed onto the floor where she had been standing. Guests screamed and scattered. Luca kept one arm around her. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. For one moment, Something unexpectedly careful replaced the coldness in his eyes. Then he faced Richard and Vanessa. "You knew." "We planned to inspect it after tonight," Richard stammered. "You held an event beneath a failing structure to protect your presentation?" Vanessa pointed at Amelia. "She never told us it was this serious." "I sent 3 reports," Amelia said. "Your office returned them unopened." Luca handed her notebook to one of his men. "Secure this. No one from Heart Design touches it." Richard stepped forward. "Surely we can discuss the contract." "The contract is no longer yours to discuss." Vanessa stared at him. "You can't discard us because she caused a panic." Luca looked at the broken stone. "She prevented a funeral." Then he turned to Amelia. "I'm inspecting the sealed east wing at midnight. I want the person who truly understands this building beside me." Her breath caught. "You want me?" "I crossed this room because everyone else was selling me a beautiful lie." His voice lowered. "You were the only one trying to keep people alive." Behind him, Vanessa looked as if she had been struck. Luca offered Amelia his hand. This time it was not a rescue. It was a choice. "Come with me, Miss Hart. Show me what your family is desperate to hide inside my hotel." Amelia looked at her sister, the stolen model, and her father's terrified face. Then she placed her hand in Luca Moretti's. She had no idea the sealed east wing contained more than damaged walls. It contained a name from Luca's past, a secret connected to Amelia's dead mother, and proof that someone in her family had waited years for Belmont to be demolished before the truth could be found. Belmont's sealed east wing had not been opened in 19 years. At 11:58, Amelia stood beneath a rusted sign while Luca's men cut through the final chain. Dust rolled into the hallway. "You can still leave," Luca said. "You brought me because I understand the building." "I brought you because someone hid a structural failure beneath a ballroom full of people." She looked at him. "Are you worried about me?" His eyes hardened. "I don't like losing things I've only just found." The chain snapped, and the doors opened with a groan. Inside, torn curtains hung from cracked arches and dust covered the floor. Amelia took 3 steps before noticing a wall that did not match the original plans. Someone had painted over a doorway. Not repaired it. Hidden it. She traced the outline. "There's a room behind this." Matteo handed her a pry bar. Amelia worked around the edge until the false wall broke inward. Beyond it was a narrow archive filled with ledgers, photographs, and locked boxes. On the far wall hung a framed picture of Belmont's staff from 24 years earlier. Amelia moved closer and froze. In the second row stood a young woman with Amelia's eyes and round cheeks. Her mother. Clara Hart had supposedly never worked at Belmont. Yet there she was in hotel uniform, one hand resting on the shoulder of a teenage Luca Moretti. "You knew her," Amelia whispered. Luca's face went still. "I was 14. Clara worked in private accounts. My father said she hated hotels. She used another name here. Clara Vale. Her mother's maiden name." Luca removed the photograph. On the back, someone had written, "If anything happens to me, the blue ledger must never reach Richard." A footstep sounded in the corridor. Luca pulled Amelia behind him as the lights went out. Glass shattered near the doorway. Smoke poured into the archive, followed by flames climbing the curtains. A metal door slammed between them and Matteo's team. "Someone knew we were coming," Luca said. "Find the blue ledger." "How?" "Think like your mother." Amelia forced herself to focus. Clara had loved hidden patterns. When Amelia was a child, colors never meant colors. Blue meant water. She followed the old brass pipes to a cabinet marked Fire Control. Behind it was a narrow safe with 4 rotating letters. Her mother's favorite word had been home. She entered it. The safe clicked open. Inside lay a blue leather ledger, a cassette tape and a sealed envelope addressed to Amelia. A burning beam crashed behind them. "We leave now," Luca ordered. "The door is sealed." He spotted an old service map. A maintenance shaft ran beneath the archive. Together they dragged a table aside. Luca found the iron ring, but the hatch refused to move. Smoke thickened. Another beam collapsed. Luca tore the hatch upward. Go! Amelia climbed down with the envelope and tape. Luca followed carrying the ledger, closing the hatch as the archive erupted above them. The tunnel was narrow and black. They moved until Matteo found them near the boiler room. Boss, whoever locked the door escaped through the western gate. Find him alive, Luca said. Amelia leaned against the wall, coughing. Soot covered her dress. Luca touched her cheek, checking for burns. You could have died. So could you. You walked into a trap built around your mother's secret. Amelia looked at the envelope. My father knew about that room. Luca's jaw tightened. I think he did more than know. Her phone rang. Vanessa. When Amelia answered, her sister sounded unnaturally sweet. Where are you? Dad is worried. We found Mom's photograph. Silence. Then Vanessa whispered, You should have left that wing sealed. The call ended. Luca had heard everything. Your sister just confirmed she knows what your mother hid. He opened the ledger. The first page listed secret payments made through Belmont 24 years ago. Richard Hart's name appeared beside another name Luca recognized instantly. The man accused of murdering Luca's father. Beneath both names, in Clara's handwriting, were 3 words. They planned everything. My father was involved in your father's death? I don't know yet, Luca said. But someone burned an entire wing to stop us finding out. Matteo approached with security footage. The grainy video showed a hooded figure leaving the hotel seconds before the fire alarm. At the gate, the figure removed one glove. A silver serpent ring flashed on the hand. Amelia knew that ring. She had given it to Vanessa on her 18th birthday. Luca's hand closed around hers. Go home as if nothing happened. Do not confront them. You expect me to sleep under the same roof? No. I expect you to make them believe you will. He looked at the envelope. Tomorrow night, your family is hosting the Hart Foundation dinner. Every investor who saw Vanessa take credit for your work will be there. Amelia understood. You want them comfortable. I want them confident enough to make a mistake. And what will I do? Luca stepped closer. You will walk into that dinner wearing the name they tried to erase. You will claim your design, open your mother's letter, and watch me discover who tried to burn you alive. For the first time, Amelia did not feel like the unwanted sister. She felt like the one holding the match. At 6 the next morning, she returned to the Hart mansion through the kitchen entrance. Vanessa sat alone at the breakfast table, the serpent ring missing from her hand. You were out late, Vanessa said. So were you. Vanessa's spoon stopped halfway to her mouth. Amelia smiled and walked upstairs. Only when her bedroom door closed did she open her mother's envelope. Inside was no letter. There was a single photograph of Richard standing beside Luca's father on the night he died, and one warning written across the back. Do not trust the man who crosses the room for you. The warning on the photograph stayed in Amelia's mind all day. Do not trust the man who crosses the room for you. By 7 that evening, the Hart mansion glittered with white lights and polished glass. Investors and journalists filled the ballroom for the Hart Foundation dinner. Vanessa moved among them in an emerald gown, smiling as if she had never tried to burn her sister alive. Amelia entered alone. She wore burgundy and, for once, had not chosen fabric to make herself look smaller. Conversations slowed. Vanessa's smile tightened. You actually came. You invited the city to celebrate my work. Our work. Amelia glanced at the restoration model beneath the Hart name. Then you won't mind answering questions about it. Across the room, Luca stood beside Matteo. When he crossed toward her, Amelia stepped back. Not here, she said. His eyes narrowed. You opened the envelope. My mother told me not to trust you. Did she write my name? She wrote the man who crosses the room for you. I crossed a ballroom for you. That is why I'm asking. Luca lowered his voice. Your mother died years before I saw you again. She could not have known I would cross any room. Amelia's anger paused. Again. Before he could answer, Richard called the guests to attention. Tonight we celebrate my daughter Vanessa, whose Belmont design will preserve our family legacy. Applause rose. Vanessa stepped onto the stage. I created this after studying Belmont for years. Amelia walked forward. No, you didn't. The room went silent. Richard's face hardened. Sit down. Amelia climbed the stage and connected her tablet to the main screen. Dated sketches appeared behind them, each carrying her digital signature. These are the first plans, the calculations, and the emails where I warned Heart Design that Belmont's balcony could collapse. Whispers spread. Vanessa forced a laugh. My sister has been under emotional strain. These files show who did the work. Richard reached for the tablet, but Matteo blocked him. Amelia played the security footage from the East Wing. A hooded figure left the hotel. The image froze on a silver serpent ring. Vanessa stared at her bare hand. You wore that ring for 9 years, Amelia said. Where is it now? I lost it. In the hotel? This is insane. Amelia opened the blue ledger. Our mother worked at Belmont under her maiden name. She recorded payments linked to Antonio Moretti's death. The ballroom erupted. Richard did not look surprised. He looked afraid. Then Vanessa grabbed the microphone. Ask Luca why he already knew Clara. Amelia turned. Ask why he kept her photograph for years. Luca did not deny it. Is that true? Matteo opened a black case. Inside was another photograph. A younger Clara stood beside a teenage Luca. Between them was a little girl with dark curls and round cheeks. Amelia. I was there. You were 4, Luca said. Your mother brought you to work. You gave me a paper crown and said I looked too sad to be a prince. A broken memory surfaced. Dark eyes, a black coat, a boy kneeling so she could place folded paper on his head. You remembered me. I remembered the child. I did not know you were her until you gave me your name. Why didn't you tell me? Because Clara vanished from Belmont 3 days after my father died. My family believed she helped betray him. Amelia flinched. When I learned who you were, I investigated before accusing the daughter of a woman who might have been innocent. Or guilty. Yes. The honesty hurt more than a lie. Richard saw his chance. Your protector never trusted you. No, Amelia said. He investigated me. Vanessa smiled. He came near you because you were evidence, not because he wanted you. Luca looked only at Amelia. At first, I wanted answers. Then I saw what they were doing to you. After that, it stopped being about the ledger. Prove it. Luca handed her a folded document. The Belmont restoration contract. The contractor line was blank. I canceled Heart Design this morning, he said. Belmont will be restored by an independent company led by you. No family name above yours. No share belonging to me. Richard stepped forward. She cannot lead a project this size. You said I could only draw, Amelia replied. You work for me. Not anymore. She signed the contract. Applause began at the back of the ballroom. One architect joined, then another, until the room filled with it. Vanessa stood beside the model she had stolen, completely forgotten. Amelia faced the guests. My first decision is to close Belmont until every defect is repaired. My second is to submit the ledger and fire evidence to the authorities. Richard's control cracked. Everything I did was to protect this family. From what? Before he answered, every screen turned black. A woman's recorded voice filled the room. Clara's voice. If Amelia is hearing this, Richard found the false ledger. Amelia stopped breathing. The blue book was meant to distract him. The real evidence is hidden beneath the place where my daughter was taught to disappear. The recording ended. Amelia knew exactly what her mother meant. The narrow wardrobe in her old bedroom. The one Richard had sealed after Clara died. Vanessa ran for the ballroom doors. Richard shouted, "Burn the room!" Luca's men grabbed him, but Vanessa escaped into the corridor. Amelia kicked off her heels and ran. Luca caught up beside her. "You don't have to do this alone. I don't know whether I trust you." "Then don't trust me," he said. "Trust that I will not let them erase you again." Smoke curled from the second floor. Vanessa had reached Amelia's bedroom first. And this time, she was not trying to destroy a ledger. She was trying to destroy the truth about which daughter Clara had actually died protecting. Smoke poured from the second-floor corridor before Amelia reached the stairs. Guests were being pushed toward the exits while alarms screamed through the mansion. Luca grabbed Amelia's arm. "You stay behind me. That is my room. And someone inside it is trying to kill the truth." They climbed through thickening smoke. At the end of the corridor, Amelia's bedroom door stood open. Flames crawled across the curtains and climbed the wardrobe Richard had kept locked since Clara's death. Vanessa stood in front of it with a metal fuel can in her hand. "Stop!" Amelia shouted. Vanessa turned. Her perfect expression was gone. Soot streaked her face and panic twisted her features. "You should have stayed invisible." She threw the can toward the fire. Luca moved first, kicking it away before the flames reached it. Vanessa backed toward the window. Amelia stared at her. "Why are you doing this?" "Because everything was supposed to be mine." "You had everything." "No. You had him." Amelia thought she meant Luca. Then Vanessa screamed, "Dad loved you even when he pretended he didn't." The words struck harder than the heat. Vanessa pointed at the burning wardrobe. "He kept your mother's letters. He kept your drawings. He followed your work. He told everyone you were useless, but he watched you like you were the only child who mattered." Richard appeared in the doorway between two of Luca's men. "Vanessa, don't say another word." She laughed bitterly. "Why?" "Because she'll learn you aren't even my father." The corridor became still. Amelia looked from Vanessa to Richard. "What did she say?" Richard's face collapsed. Vanessa's voice trembled. "My mother was Patricia Vale, Clara's younger sister." Amelia struggled to understand. "My aunt. She was in love with Antonio Moretti." Luca went rigid. Vanessa continued before anyone could stop her. "Antonio promised to leave his wife and take Patricia away. When he changed his mind, she went to Richard. They made a deal." Richard lunged toward her, but Matteo forced him against the wall. "Enough." "No," Amelia said. "Let her finish." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. Richard helped Patricia steal money from Belmont accounts. Antonio discovered it and threatened to expose them. Clara found out and started recording everything. The night Antonio died, Patricia was supposed to meet him in the East Wing. Luca's voice became dangerously quiet. "What happened?" "She gave him a drink." Richard made sure the security cameras were off. Luca took one step toward Richard. Amelia caught his hand. "Not yet." His fingers trembled with rage beneath hers, but he stopped. Vanessa looked at Amelia. Clara tried to save Antonio. She called for help, but Patricia locked the door. By the time anyone entered, Antonio was dead and Clara was blamed. "Then why did my mother stay with Richard?" "Because he threatened you." Amelia's chest tightened. Vanessa nodded toward the wardrobe. Clara collected proof, but Patricia discovered it. There was a struggle on the Belmont roof. Clara fell. Amelia stared at Richard. "You told me she died in a car accident." "I was protecting you." "You protected her killers." "I protected you from the Morettis." They believed Clara betrayed Antonio. If they had known who you were. "My family never harmed children," Luca said. Richard looked at him. "Your uncle ordered Clara found. He wanted answers. He wanted blood." The ceiling cracked above them. Luca pulled Amelia back as burning plaster crashed onto the floor. We need to leave. The wardrobe, Amelia said. Flames surrounded it, but one lower panel remained untouched. Her mother had once told her that valuable things were rarely hidden high, where adults looked first. Amelia dropped to her knees and pressed the carved wooden flower near the base. A compartment opened. Inside was a small metal case. Vanessa saw it and ran forward. That belongs to me. She grabbed Amelia's shoulder, but Amelia turned and pushed her away. Vanessa slipped near the burning curtain. Luca caught her wrist before she fell into the flames. For one shocked second, Vanessa hung above the fire, staring at the man she had once wanted. Luca pulled her to safety and handed her to Matteo. I saved you because Amelia would blame herself if I didn't, he said. Do not mistake that for mercy. They escaped seconds before the bedroom ceiling collapsed. Outside, firefighters covered the mansion while guests watched from behind the gates. Cameras had already gathered. Amelia opened the metal case on the bonnet of Luca's car. Inside were bank records, an audio cassette and 2 birth certificates. One belonged to Amelia Hart. The other belonged to Vanessa Vale. Her father's name was Antonio Moretti. Luca read it twice. Vanessa was his half-sister. The truth moved through the crowd in stunned whispers. Vanessa looked at Luca as if the ground had disappeared beneath her. You're my brother? Luca showed no warmth. Biology does not erase what you did tonight. Richard began shouting that the documents were forged, but Matteo played the cassette through the car's audio system. Clara's voice emerged, followed by Patricia's. Patricia admitted poisoning Antonio's drink. Richard admitted hiding the evidence. Then came the sound of an argument, Clara threatening to expose them, and Richard warning that Amelia would disappear if she spoke. The recording ended. Police sirens approached. Richard's shoulders sagged. For the first time, he looked small. Amelia expected satisfaction. Instead, she felt hollow. Her mother had not abandoned her. She had died trying to protect her. Luca stood beside Amelia but did not touch her. You knew Vanessa might be connected to your father, Amelia said. I suspected Patricia had a child. I did not know it was Vanessa. You investigated my entire family. Yes. And still said nothing. I needed proof. You always need proof before trust. His jaw tightened. In my world, trust without proof gets people killed. In mine, secrets destroyed my mother. The pain in his eyes was real, but Amelia stepped away. Richard was taken into custody. Vanessa followed after admitting she had started both fires. Before entering the police car, she looked back at Amelia. I hated you because every lie in that house was built around protecting you. Amelia answered quietly, No. You hated me because it was easier than facing who truly hurt you. Vanessa lowered her eyes. By dawn, the mansion was half destroyed and the Hart name was everywhere in the news. Luca found Amelia standing beneath a tree across the road. I can arrange somewhere safe for you. I don't want you to arrange my life. I'm trying to protect you. That is what Richard always claimed. The comparison hit him visibly. Amelia's voice softened, but she did not take it back. I need to know whether you crossed that ballroom because you believed in me, or because you recognized Clara's daughter and wanted evidence. At first, both. Her heart broke at his honesty. And now? Now I would burn every answer I ever wanted if keeping it meant losing you. Amelia looked at him through tears. Then prove you can love me without controlling what happens next. She walked away before he could answer. 3 days later, Amelia entered Belmont for her first official restoration meeting. Reporters crowded the entrance, but Luca was nowhere in sight. On the main table sat the original contract. His ownership share had been removed. Belmont now belonged to an independent preservation trust in Clara Hart's name, with Amelia as its director. Beside it was Luca's handwritten message. I crossed the room because I saw you. I am stepping back because I finally heard you. Amelia pressed the note to her chest. Then Matteo rushed into the room, pale and breathless. Miss Hart, Luca has disappeared. He placed a blood-stained silver serpent ring on the table. Someone sent this with a message. Amelia unfolded the paper. Bring Antonio Moretti's daughter to Belmont's roof before midnight, or Luca dies where his father did.